स्तुतमर्गणे व्याघ्रकृत्यं वसानं विश्वाद्यं विश्वबीजं निखिलभयहरं पञ्चवक्त्रं त्रिनेत्रं शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभाङ्गं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगविद्यार्नगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथं। राधे कृष्ण राधे कृष्ण 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 राधे राधे, राधे श्याम राधे श्यामा श्याम श्यामा राधे राधे, राधे कृष्ण 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 राधे राधे, राधे श्याम राधे श्यामा श्याम श्यामा राधे राधे, राधे कृष्ण 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 राधे राधे, राधे श्याम 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 राधे राधे, राधे कृष्ण 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 राधे राधे, राधे श्याम 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 राधे राधे कृष्ण ओ राधे कृष्ण ओ कृष्ण कृष्ण ओ राधे 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 श्यामा ओ राधे श्यामा ओ श्यामा श्यामा ओ राधे राधे राधे, राधे कृष्ण 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 राधे राधे, राधे श्याम श्यामा श्याम श्यामा राधे राधे, राधे कृष्ण 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 राधे राधे, राधे श्याम श्यामा श्याम श्यामा राधे राधे, राधे कृष्ण 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 राधे राधे, राधे श्याम 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 राधे राधे कृष्ण 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 राधे राधे, राधे श्याम 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 राधे राधे कृष्ण ओ राधे कृष्ण ओ कृष्ण कृष्ण राधे राधे राधे, राधे श्यामा ओ श्यामा श्यामा राधे राधे राधे, राधे कृष्ण 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 राधे राधे, राधे श्याम श्यामा श्याम श्यामा राधे राधे, राधे कृष्ण 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 राधे राधे, राधे श्याम श्यामा श्याम श्यामा राधे राधे, राधे कृष्ण 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 राधे राधे, राधे श्याम 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 राधे राधे, राधे कृष्ण 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 राधे राधे, राधे श्याम 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 राधे राधे कृष्ण ओ राधे कृष्ण ओ कृष्ण कृष्ण राधे 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 श्यामा राधे श्यामा ओ श्यामा श्यामा राधे 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 कृष्ण 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 राधे 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 श्याम श्यामा श्याम श्यामा राधे 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 कृष्ण 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 राधे 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 श्याम श्यामा श्याम श्यामा राधे 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 कृष्ण 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 राधे 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 श्याम 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 राधे 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 कृष्ण 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 राधे 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 श्याम 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 राधे राधे कृष्ण ओ राधे कृष्ण ओ कृष्ण कृष्ण राधे 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 श्यामा ओ श्यामा श्यामा राधे 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 कृष्ण 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 राधे 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 श्याम श्यामा श्याम श्यामा राधे राधे कृष्ण 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 राधे 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 श्याम श्यामा श्याम श्यामा राधे 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 कृष्ण 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 राधे 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 श्याम 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 राधे 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 कृष्ण 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 राधे 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 श्याम श्याम राधे राधे कृष्ण हो राधे कृष्ण 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 राधे 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 श्यामा ओ श्यामा श्यामा राधे 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 कृष्ण 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 राधे 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 श्याम श्यामा श्याम श्यामा राधे राधे कृष्ण 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 राधे 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 श्याम श्यामा श्याम श्यामा राधे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण राधे 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 श्याम श्याम राधे राधे कृष्ण कृष्ण राधे 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 श्याम श्याम राधे राधे कृष्ण हो राधे कृष्ण 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 राधे 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 श्यामा हो राधे श्यामा ओ श्यामा श्यामा राधे 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 कृष्ण 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 राधे 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 श्याम श्यामा श्याम श्यामा राधे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण राधे 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 श्याम श्यामा श्याम श्यामा राधे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण राधे 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 श्याम श्यामा श्याम श्यामा राधे 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 श्याम श्यामा राधे राधे हे गोपाल राधा कृष्ण गोविंद गोविंद हे गोपाल राधा कृष्ण गोविंद 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 कृष्ण गोविंद गोविंद गोविन्द गोविन्द कृष्ण गोविन्द गोविन्द हे गोपाल राधा कृष्ण गोविन्द गोविन्द हे गोपाल राधा कृष्ण गोविन्द गोविन्द हे गोपाल राधा कृष्ण गोविन्द 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 कृष्ण गोविन्द गोविन्द हे गोपाल राधा कृष्ण गोविन्द गोविन्द हे गोपाल राधा कृष्ण गोविन्द 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 कृष्ण गोविन्द गोविन्द हे गोपाल राधा कृष्ण गोविन्द गोविन्द हे गोपाल राधा कृष्ण गोविन्द गोविन्द श्री कृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा श्री कृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा हे राम नारायण वासुदेवा हे श्याम नारायण वासुदेव श्री कृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा श्री कृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा हे भद्रे नारायण वासुदेवा हे लक्ष्मी नारायण वासुदेवा हे लक्ष्मी नारायण वासुदेवा हे लक्ष्मी नारायण वासुदेवा श्री कृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा श्री कृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा श्रीमन्नारायण नारायण नारायण श्रीमन्नारायण नारायण नारायण श्रीमन्नारायण नारायण नारायण श्रीमन्नारायण 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 नारायण नारायण श्रीमन्नारायण नारायण नारायण राम नारायण 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 राम नारायण राम नारायण राम नारायण 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 श्रीमन्नारायण नारायण नारायण श्रीमन्नारायण नारायण नारायण श्रीमन्नारायण 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 नारायण नारायण श्रीमन्नारायण नारायण नारायण ब्रह्मनारायण विष्णुनारायण ब्रह्मनारायण विष्णुनारायण ब्रह्मनारायण नारायण नारायण श्रीमन्नारायण नारायण नारायण श्रीमन्नारायण नारायण नारायण सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः
Let's begin by spending a few minutes in meditation together. So find a position that is comfortable for you. One in which your breath can flow freely. One in which you're stable, not rigid, but stable. Draw the awareness to your breath. Spend a moment just becoming aware of this incredible life force that flows through you, connecting you to the universe. Allow the awareness of the breath to come to the place just below your navel, about 2 inches below the navel, the Swadhisthana chakra. Take the inhalations from there and allow the exhalations to drop you back down into that place. Feel the energy there. At that core of the self. On the next inhalation, allow yourself to carry the breath upwards. So instead of breathing out horizontally, you're going to breathe up and carry the breath from that Swadhisthana chakra below the belly button. Carry it up as high as you can in a smooth, unbroken breath. Carry it up through the rib cage and lungs, through the throat, and up to your third eye, the center just between your eyebrows, the Agya chakra. And let it drop back down slowly. Again, one smooth, unbroken exhalation. Back down into the Swadhisthana chakra. If you can't get it all the way up to your third eye in one breath, don't worry. Just take it as high as you can comfortably and let it go back from there. Take the inhalations and exhalations at your own pace, carrying the breath higher and higher on each inhalation, and allowing yourself to drop deeper and deeper on each exhalation. Higher and higher on each inhalation. Closer and closer to that third eye. The divine eye that enables us to see the truth, to see the divine. And sinking deeper and deeper into the core of the self. That source of love, of light, of peace on each exhalation. don't allow yourself to get distracted by thoughts or sounds or sensations. Just keep returning the breath, keep returning the awareness to the breath. As it rises up to that divine eye, and drops down deeply into the source of the self. Gently bring the palms together at chest level and rub them against each other. Place them over your closed eyes. Open your eyes into the palms of your hands. And lower your hands. Welcome to Satsang. I'll take one of the questions that has come in advance and then open it up if anyone has a question here. How can we bridge the practices of water sanitation with respect to current developments in science and the spirituality behind it? So, this is an unusual type of question to come up in satsang, but it's something that is so deep and dear to the work that we're doing that although it's not traditional satsang type of question, I'm actually quite happy to take it, because the earth is us. And a lot of us think of things like water, sanitation, preservation as somehow separate from our spiritual practice. But our work in the world, our impact on the world, the ripple effect of my life on the world, well, that is my spiritual practice. It's not my meditation over here and my impact on the world over there. My impact on the world is deeply and directly connected to my meditation and a direct result of my meditation or my lack thereof. And water is something that is such a beautiful symbol. You know, with the work that we do with water, it's so beautiful to share about it because water as a very specific aspect of life, as a very specific property, a physical aspect, is also the symbol of our oneness with all. Water is not just an element. It's not just what we need to drink and irrigate our farms with. Water actually is what our bodies are made of. And if you look at a globe, you become acutely aware, if you watch one of those beautiful science shows on Discovery or National Geographic of people who have gone to outer space and what they see from outer space, you see that really what the Earth is just kind of pieces of land that seem to be from outside floating in water. But it's really almost all water. That's why it's called the blue planet. So we are mostly water. The Earth is mostly water, both that which is visible and that which isn't visible. So the water that runs beneath us, our groundwater, isn't visible, but it's there. Before we had faucets that you just turned on and water dripped out of them, people had to dig. They went out and they dug in the land outside where they lived until they hit water. So there's water flowing beneath us. Sometimes a few inches, sometimes a few feet. But that water table is there. So it's in us, it's beneath us. It's what runs through the rivers into the oceans that connect us. When you look at our breath, we're not just inhaling and exhaling oxygen and carbon dioxide, but there's actually water vapor as well. And so for me, from a spiritual perspective, the perspective of yoga and union and oneness, if you needed a physical substrate of oneness, it's water. If you needed a physical element that shows how we are interconnected, it's water. Water is me, water is you, water is that which flows between us. So when we look at the question of the science and spirituality between what's happening with water and the new advances, well, it's science and it's spirituality. It's spiritual science, scientific spirituality. And again, there really isn't any place that the two shouldn't overlap when they are both in their deepest element. So science is not inherently something that shuts out the natural world. Science actually is, at its best, a way of understanding the natural world. Our way of interacting with, connecting with the natural world. We're able to say, through science, okay, so this is the shape of that with which I'm interacting. This is the volume with that with which I'm interacting. The weight of that with which I'm interacting. This is the way that with which I'm interacting interacts with a different element. Here's how this universe interacts with each other. That's science. What's happened, sadly, is that the field of science has somehow, and I'm not sure historically how it happened, but science has decided that its tools of measurement and knowing are the only tools of measurement and knowing, which is where science has talked itself into a box. Very, very sadly, because science has its tools. And they're wonderful tools, but the tools keep evolving, and there's a lot of new inventions of tools. And every time we get new tools, our scientific knowledge increases, which is great. As long as we don't call that knowledge truth. Because the truth is not something that should be dependent upon the quality of my instrument. And that is where science has gone astray, I would say, in recent years, is claiming a jurisdiction over things that really are not its jurisdiction. And so if it can be weighed, if it can be measured, if it can fit in a beaker, or you can see it with a telescope or a microscope, science knows what to do with it. And if it can't, science tends to say that it's invalid or it's untrue. And the dilemma with that, of course, is that anyone who's ever been in love knows love is really very real. But it doesn't weigh anything. It doesn't have any volume or mass or velocity. You can't see it in a microscope or a telescope. With the tools we have, who knows? Next year, somebody could absolutely invent something that could allow us to see love. Why not? We can feel it. But until and unless that happens, it's not considered real. It's not considered valid. So science has constructed itself really into a box in which it has said, this is what we know, and therefore that is what is. And everything else is what we're going to call, religion, faith. Said with a, academic sneer. And that's really a tragedy, because spirituality just has different ways of knowing. Spirituality gives us tools to know that which science doesn't know how to know. So spirituality doesn't use beakers, and it doesn't use scales, and it doesn't use tape measures, and it doesn't use telescopes and microscopes. Spirituality looks within. Spirituality is, you could say, the science of inner space rather than outer space. But as anyone who's ever felt miserable in the midst of having everything perfect around them, or anyone who's ever felt lonely at a party full of 200 people, knows the inner world is actually quite important. And until and unless we know how to manage that inner world, just getting our outer world set is not actually enough. I can surround myself with hundreds of people, but that isn't an antidote to loneliness. I can fill my home, fill my shelves with possessions, but that's not an antidote to depression, sadness, and meaninglessness. And so the inner world is very important. So spirituality tells us how to know that. It tells us how to know our interaction with the rest of the world that's not measurable yet. It'll get there. I'm convinced it'll get there. We can now measure sound waves. We can measure light waves. We can measure microwaves. We can measure so many different types of waves. You can measure electromagnetic waves. Soon there will come a time when we'll actually be able to measure that which we all feel. You sit in somebody's presence, certain people's presence, and you just feel like, oh, I just want to keep sitting here. It's just so beautiful. There's so much love and peace in this presence. Someday science will understand how to measure that, because it is an energy. It is a frequency. And even if it can't, well, that's okay. If it never develops the tools, that's okay. But spirituality and science, when we're talking about water, going back to water, they must overlap, because water is both. It's science and it's spirit. Life is both. Life is science, life is spirit. That which my body is made of, we'll call it science. That which gives it the life, we're going to call that spirit. Because one moment after I've died, my body still has all of its parts still in place. The eyes are still there, but there's no one to see. The ears are still there, but no one's hearing. Who is that that sees, that hears? Well, that's the spirit, the self. So our life is both. Science, the body. Spirit, that which infuses the body. So is water. Water is actually impacted spiritually. They've done incredible studies of, and this is just true about water. It's not true that we know yet about other aspects of nature. But you can take a glass of water and have someone hold it and think about an object. A very specific object. So let's say I'm thinking about a banana. So I'm going to hold this glass of water, and I'm going to think for 10 minutes about a banana as focused and concentrated as I can. And at the end of those 10 minutes, and I haven't told anybody that what I'm thinking is banana, but at the end of those 10 minutes, I'm going to take a piece of paper, write banana on it, fold it up so you can't see it, and tape it to the outside of this glass. I'm then going to hand the glass to you. And you're going to hold the glass for 10 minutes, trying as best as you can to tune in to what is in this water. And they've done this as scientific experiments, and what they've found is, I'm forgetting the numbers at the moment, but there's millions, literally millions of nouns in the English language. And out of those millions of nouns, it's like 1 million, I think it was, of nouns that are actually very specific things that actually have a shape and a size and a color, a tangible aspect of it. And so you think about the probability of Elise guessing exactly the same noun that I was thinking of. 1 in 1 million? Literally? But what they found was that the rate of people getting it right was about 1 in 6, which is amazing. There is a power of water that actually holds energy. This is how homeopathy works. If anybody's ever taken homeopathic medicine or studied homeopathy, in that water that gets poured on sugar pills that you stick under your tongue, in that water there actually isn't any scientifically discoverable trace element of anything. Measure those sugar pills by any way that you want. And pretty much other than sugar, there's nothing in them. And yet, they work. How do they work? Because into that water, the way that homeopathy works is into that water they actually put whatever that plant or herb or element that is being used. And they move it around. It gets vibrated in such a way, activated in such a way, and then diluted in such a way that what's left in the water is just the energetic impression. And the water holds it. They don't do it in milk. They don't do it in beer. They don't, I mean, there's something very, very specific about the property of water that does this. So water is energy. It's life. So when we talk about working for it and protecting it, there's an infinite number of ways that you could go into that. Go in from spirit. We're protecting that which unites us. We're protecting the physical substrate of spirit on planet Earth. Go in from the perspective of love. Well, more people are suffering and dying every day from lack of clean water than from all forms of violence combined. So if I said, raise your hand if you think that war should end, right? Would anybody not raise your hand? If I said, raise your hand if you think terrorism should end. Raise your hand if you think domestic violence should end. If you think violence against anybody of any gender or any color or any religion or any sexual orientation should end. Anybody who doesn't think that should end? But actually, more people, as I said, are dying due to lack of clean water than from all of that violence combined. And so every one of us, as committed as we are to ending war, to ending terrorism, to ending violence, should be as committed to protecting and preserving the water on our planet. And from a purely practical standpoint, it's a lot easier to preserve water than it is to end terrorism. In terms of the impact that most of us sitting in this room have in our hands, we've got a lot more of an ability to impact the water on this planet than we do the violence in the Middle East. Should any of us have the power to end that, God bless you. And God give you strength. But most of us, that's just not in our realm of impact in the world. But we do have the ability to impact those who are suffering and dying due to lack of water. Because literally, everything we eat, everything we buy, everything we wear has an impact on the planet's waters. And so every day, every meal, every time we order something online or buy something in a store, every time we shop, every time we go to the grocery store, we go to a restaurant, whatever it may be, every moment you have the ability actually to make a choice. And so that's incredible. And that's actually a very spiritual injunction, because to write a check to an environmental organization once a year or once a month is wonderful. If you have the extra income, do it. But to actually make a change in how we live, that requires spirituality. That requires something deeper than just, I'm going to give to charity. That requires the awareness that who I am and what I do is intricately connected with this planet. And so water gives us that opportunity. And so whether you go in from science or you go in from spirituality, that is the work that we need to do. By 2040, this is UN statistics, by 2040 the world is going to have half the water it needs. Now tragically, what that probably won't mean is that every single time every one of us reaches for a glass of water, only half the time we'll get one. Chances are most of us will get a glass of water 100% of the time. But what it means is that about 50% of the people on Earth aren't going to get water at all. That tends to be the way, tragically, that our systems of distribution work, is we don't cut the same amount from everybody. Those who have the ability, who have the luxury to have, will continue to have. And those who don't will have less. Which means that the decision to do what we can do to ensure that that doesn't happen is a spiritual decision. It's a spiritual decision that says, I am connected to and therefore responsible for everyone else on this planet. I am connected to and responsible for this planet herself. I have come out of her. I will go back. to her. There is no place any of us ends and Mother Earth begins. And if you are a meditator, if you are a yoga student, if you are a temple goer, church goer, synagogue goer, mosque goer, gurdwara goer, anywhere goer, if you are spiritual but not religious, if you are anyone who connects on any level to any aspect of spirit in any way, shape, or form, it is incumbent upon each of us to act from that place. And the good news is we all have the ability to do it every single day. And so it's an incredibly empowering awareness. But it's one we can't run from. Well, we can't run from it and call ourselves spiritual. So it becomes a choice for us. If we are on that path, our relationship with water, our relationship with Mother Earth, our relationship with those with whom we share it, must be one that reflects the awareness that we are one with the planet. If there are any questions that anyone here has, Jens, yes.
It's my last day at the ashram.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
really enjoyed the year's spiritual retreat. I was introduced to sound healing, and it has had a life change. I want to share the story with life-changing experience on me through the collective work we did in the Satsang the other night. It was really affecting my body a lot, so I started to itch and move like mechanically and stuff like that, and I really felt like I was reborn somehow.
Wonderful.
And I couldn't stop laughing. And so had dinner with good friends, and we had tea and stuff like that. Then went to bed. And next morning I was going to the yoga class in the Satsang hall. I thought that's where the yoga class was. And there was nobody to start to meditate. After half an hour, I opened the eyes, there was nobody there. I realized it was probably somewhere else, the yoga class. So I continued to meditate in the Satsang hall. And it was the most amazing experience. I felt so connected to, because I hadn't really paid attention before, but to the founders of the ashram, the statues, and felt the presence, and like, I got this message like I had to read what he's been writing and stuff like that. So it's been going with me throughout. I had another session with the sound healing, and it came back to me to kind of help in the healing process. So I was just wondering if, what is there about him that maybe is so, apart from, of course, starting this whole ashram, you know, what is there that I can take with me from him that you
Beautiful. So for our family joining us from around the world who didn't hear your beautiful question, he was sharing about the incredible impact on him of the New Year's retreat that he was on, and the impact of the sound healing on the energy of his body, and how during a meditation that he felt very, very connected to Swami Shukdevananji Maharaj, the founder of Paramaarth Nikatan, and whether I could share something about him for you to take back. And it's an honor. I would be happy to. I'll share. There's so much to share, but I'm going to share one piece, which Puja Swamiji shares very frequently. And so it's a teaching that has trickled down from the founder to today. So going back from 1942. And the teaching says, basically, it was given in Hindi, of course, But the teaching basically says, even if you never have time to go to a church, to go to a temple, to go to a synagogue, to go to a mosque, to go to a gurdwara, to go to any place of worship, even if for whatever reason you never have time, that's okay. God will forgive you. But if you have the ability, the opportunity to take the pain of another human being, that action is the home of God. That taking the pain of a fellow being is the temple, is the church, is the synagogue, is the mosque, is the gurdwara. And that is what you should worry about, much more than how frequently you can walk through those doors. And that's where the name of this ashram he founded, Parmarth. Well, Niketan just means an abode, a place. But Parmarth literally means dedicated to the welfare of all. There's two ways that you can live. Swarth. Swarth means selfishness. Or Parmarth, for others. So you can live for yourself or you can live for others. And Parmarth literally means dedicated to that welfare of all. So what you have is a saint who came to a place where there was nothing, who meditated on the banks of Ganga, and who got that message of Ganga to serve and to serve and to serve and to give and to give. And that's where, when he founded the Swami Shukdevanand Trust, if you look at the aims and objectives and of the trust, it's all about service of the needy. On a logistic level, so housing the homeless, feeding the hungry, educating the illiterate, healing the sick, right? All of that logistic level, which has been under Puja Swamiji's vision and guidance expanded to so many other ailments that people on earth are suffering from, that our environment is suffering from, to that which ails us on the inside. The depression, the anxiety, the loneliness, the disconnection. And so it's a place that's equally dedicated to service of the empty stomachs and service of the empty hearts, with an awareness that both of them are equally debilitating. The empty heart is just as debilitating to the person suffering from it as the empty stomach is to the one suffering from that. And so, hence you have all of the charitable programs that under Puja Swamiji just keep expanding, not even day by day, but hour by hour. And then you have all of the spiritual programs, whether it's yoga, whether it's meditation, whether it's satsang, whether it's arti, whether it's the temples, whatever it may be, to fill people on the inside. So if you take that home, that helping people, taking their pain in whatever way you can, let that be your temple. Let that be your church. Let that be your synagogue. Let that be your gurdwara, your mosque. And then you'll always live in the home of God.
Can you take one more question?
Sure.
The problem is I'm leaving tomorrow.
No problem. Sure.
I need the answer now.
No problem.
One is a difficult one, why we are here on this earth, and we can talk next week.
family member, you can't. Yes.
How do I feel? I don't see ills in anyone. I want to cook for everyone. There are people in our family, both families, that simply less
So, nastiness is hard to deal with anywhere. But it's especially hard to deal with when it's under your roof. In the family. Now, there's a few aspects to the solution. Inner aspects and outer aspects. And the inner aspect, it's really important because when someone is nasty to me, especially if I feel like I've been really good to them, the very first instinct is either to be nasty back or to feel miserable inside. So some of us tend to be more inclined to the "who the hell do you think you are" reaction, or the "oh my God, what did I do to deserve that" reaction. But either way, we've allowed ourselves to be flipped on and off, switched on and off by their words and actions. So the first element is to realize that they should not have any control over our internal state. We'll come to the external in a moment, but at least my internal state. Their words are just words. Their actions are just actions. Until and unless they take a syringe and inject me with hatred and misery and despair, I need to have a way not to let it in. And that's not easy by any means, but it is doable. It is doable through A, compassion, through understanding that someone who is nasty because inside of them there is a nastiness manufacturing plant. Right? It's not in their food. It's not that, it's not the air they breathe. If they are literally exuding nastiness, well, where is it coming from? It's coming from inside of them. Inside of them, they are generating nastiness, which means that it's impacting them even before it impacts you. If I've got the stomach flu or I've got food poisoning and I vomit on you, well, before I vomit on you, I'm feeling really sick inside me. That sickness begins inside of me. Something is brewing, then I feel sicker, then I feel sicker, then I feel sicker, then the vomit comes up and eventually it lands on you, unfortunately. But it is impacting me first. And that's important to realize because what we know is they are in trouble. Now, we may say they just are like that, or that's because of their ego, or their greed, or their arrogance, or whatever way we explain it. What you know for sure is if they are exuding nastiness, they are generating nastiness. If they are exuding nastiness, they are manufacturing nastiness. And if they are manufacturing it, the only place they're manufacturing it is inside themselves. And so we have compassion for the fact that they are also living with that which they are doing to the world. Whether they are consciously aware of it and admitting it to you or not is an entirely separate subject. But what we know is it's being manufactured in them in the same way that an air conditioner that gives cold air is first manufacturing it. A heater that gives hot air is first manufacturing it.
I'm not sure whether they're suffering, really.
Okay. I can guarantee you they are suffering.
May I share
Absolutely.
This is happening currently. My mother passed away on the 23rd. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
And we just come back from Australia. And I was still out in the house because my brothers decided, no, I don't want you there. I went to the house, I picked up everything, and I walked out. Tomorrow is a 13th day ceremony, but they'll be. I'm not invited. Both the sisters aren't invited. The brothers and their wives have taken over the house, and before, on the day of the funeral, they stripped her room, all her drawers, all her clothes, wanted to know where the jewelry was. And they were being absolutely nasty. Her ashes have been thrown in the dirtiest river there is in that area. And they can't be feeling that.
Of course. So,
And my mother was the most beautiful, the most graceful, the most loving, the most elegant woman you could have ever seen. And she was a gentle person around me. She loved these brats, these idiots with her life. Ignored the daughters for the sake of these boys and their wives and their children. We did everything for them, for her. And they've taken over our lives, made us both miserable. The sisters are sitting at home and suffering.
And our salvation is this case.
wonderful.
Exactly. I came here
To
just
set
to
here
get
from
peace.
there. Came yesterday, leaving tomorrow, but cannot go near the house where we visited for 3 years.
I wanted to say goodbye to my mother. I continue to see her photograph. And it's really, really painful. So that's the reason why we're saying, how do you deal with miserable, dirty, disgusting souls like that, who are sadly our own flesh and blood?
So, again, there's the outer and there's the inner. On the outer level, your mother is no longer in that house.
I don't think you'd like to be.
You do not need access to that house, to her room, to her pictures, to her possessions, to connect with her. Her spirit, her soul, her essence, her love is here. And it's inside of you. And what I would like to do, if you agree, is tomorrow morning before you go, we can speak about it after this, is to have another puja for her. On the banks, not of the dirtiest river there, but of the sacred Mother Ganga, who doesn't need her physical ashes in order to be able to grant her.
Her bones are still sitting in a pot somewhere.
Don't worry. Don't worry. She's not in those. She's not in those. Let us organize a beautiful puja here tomorrow morning on the banks of Ganga. A sacred, beautiful puja. And if you have even a small picture of her, if there's one online, fantastic. We can get a printout done, we can get it framed, we can have it there in the puja for her, and we can have a beautiful, beautiful puja. Ganga does not actually need her ashes to give her that moksha. So on the external level, in this particular case, as well as in all of the cases, to the extent that we are able to extricate ourselves, to detach ourselves, to disconnect ourselves from the impact upon our lives of other people's nastiness. And that doesn't make it right. But it allows us to live in peace. We were speaking, I don't know if you were with us on New Year's Eve when we were speaking about forgiveness. And the important aspect of that is We are not the karmic police. The law of karma is perfect. It does not require us to keep reminding it who's due what. You know, we're not God's secretary having to make a list of who's due what, thankfully. We can let go in our minds so we can be free. They are nasty. They are living in their nastiness, and I guarantee you they are suffering. Because if someone is that able to make distant relations suffer, imagine what they're doing to the people under their own roof. If people are that able to cause others to suffer, that is their nature. And if that is their nature, that is what the energy is in their house. That is what the energy is inside of them. That fear, that greed, that separation that is causing them to treat you like this is what they are living with. That is their reality. And whether they are suffering consciously or unconsciously, I don't know. Depends on their level of awakening. Not everybody suffers consciously. But I can guarantee you they're suffering on the unconscious level. And that eventually, I mean, they're just going to keep having to come back and do this drama of being human over and over and over again until they get conscious.
I keep thinking, what are they teaching their children?
Pray for their children. And if they're not teaching their children something, at least you can.
No.
I don't mean directly. I don't mean barging into their house and taking over the rearing of their children, but energetically, through your way of dealing with them, what you are teaching their children is, there is an alternative. Because I guarantee you in that house, there is no alternative. You are showing their children there is an alternative. And who knows? At some point in their life, it may come back. Energetically, it will. That which family members do impact other family members on a level that we're not even aware. The ripple impact of that karma impacts families. So on the outer level, let's give your mother a beautiful puja. On the outer level, create a home for her in your heart, and don't worry about the home that they have taken over. And for
It's not the home. It's not the home. It's how they
of course,
how they treated my mother.
of course.
And which is absolutely disgusting and at any level. It's not
course.
just the basis level. Even a very, very poor person would give his penny to the dead. Even if he doesn't have 2 pennies to rub the dead.
But you know what's so beautiful in all of this? Is thinking about what they do causes our minds to be negative and filled with hatred and anger. But thinking about your mom, what you said was that your mom loved them anyway. That your mom was able to do it anyway, which means that your mom has left us an incredible teaching. She has left us an incredible example of how to love, how to live. And she actually had to live under the same roof with them.
No,
Oh, she didn't, okay. But how to live in the same family with them. With love, with forgiveness, with compassion. And if you can take even one aspect of what your mother gave, let it heal that anger in your heart. They've already treated her badly. They've already treated you badly. They've treated her home badly. At least take back your life. There's nothing that you can do now to change how they treated her. You're not going to change how they're treating that house. At least you can change the impact they're having on you. That's in your hands. Do not allow them to have that damaging impact on you. Every minute that you spend thinking about them, you've started an anger manufacturing plant within you. Literally.
I'm burning up.
Right? You're burning up. So, a very, very wise person once said that being angry is like drinking poison and expecting the other guy to die. So you're sitting here furious as though somehow if you're just angry enough, the good Lord is going to hear it and, do something. Well, the law of karma is already doing something. Let that bolt of lightning be a bolt of light in you. Whatever's coming to them is going to come to them anyway. But pray for the bolt of light, not lightning. Pray for the bolt of light in your heart.
I think I came to the point yesterday, the day before. I didn't know whether I should scream, I should cry, or just laugh at the stupidity and the sheer...
Laugh. When the choice is laugh or cry or scream,
Just laugh.
laugh. The reason that the Sanskrit word given to our entire existence here, the creation is lila, right? Lila. God's divine drama, sometimes translated also as the divine play. Never translated as the divine tragedy. Never translated as never the drama. It's a play. And this is important because it doesn't mean take it lightly. The Bhagavad Gita ensures that we take it sincerely, but it means, remember, it's a play. And so when the choice is laugh, scream, or cry, always, always choose laugh. And if after the laughter has lightened your heart, you can find a place in it of compassion for them. Not for them, but for you. They don't need your compassion. My worry is not them. My worry is you and your heart, because the opening to compassion is actually the greatest gift you're going to give yourself. Chances are it's not going to impact them at all, so don't worry about it. But it's going to impact you in an incredible way. And not because they deserve it, but because you deserve it. You deserve to feel compassion. You deserve to feel love. And if these rascals, after stealing everything from your mother, have now decided that generationally they get to work their way down and now steal from you, well, but see, they're stealing your peace.
Yes.
Right? Which is actually more valuable than any possession.
And it's affecting my husband.
But you're permitting them to steal your peace. You've allowed them into your heart to steal your peace. You are here on the banks of Ganga in Rishikesh. They are in a different city, but you have allowed them wide, full access to the key to your heart, even sitting here in Rishikesh, to steal your peace.
It's very raw just now.
Of course.
I think because I'm truly blessed with my husband, my 3 sons, their wives, their children, and it's a lovely, lovely family. They've been so supportive. My sons are in 3 different countries, and we're in Australia, and I'm flooded with love. And one of our boys is with us at the moment with his family. The grandchildren are...
Two beautiful
So here's what I want you to do. Can I give you a practice? I'd like you to begin a gratitude practice. If the anger bubbles up, let it bubble up. We're not going to fight your anger for now. But I want you to begin a practice of gratitude. Every morning and every night, I want you to start making lists of everything and everyone you are grateful for. At least 15 things every morning and 15 different things every evening. Now, obviously things are going to repeat. But don't take the easy way out. You don't get to just write, my husband, my husband, my husband, my husband, my husband, my husband. It's a practice. There's no harm in that, of course, right? But it's a practice of creative gratitude as well, okay? So maybe it's my husband's patience. Maybe it's my husband's unconditional love. Maybe it's my husband's willingness to listen to me grumble about these people 24 hours a day without telling me to shut up. Maybe it's my husband's, so it can be my husband, but at least let it be creatively different aspects of him, okay? 15 different things every morning, 15 different things every evening. And every time, wait 1 second. Every time the anger comes up, every time it comes up, I want you to think of something you're grateful for. Because we're not looking to shut down your heart. So the answer is not to close it, but the answer is to change which guests you're inviting in. And so at the moment, you've sort of opened it up to those who are wreaking havoc, while paying much less attention to those who you know are giving lots of love. You know they're there, but your awareness is rooted in those who are stealing your peace. And so I want you, every moment that the anger comes up, to think about something you are deeply grateful for. And just don't try to beat the anger away, but simply allow your heart to fill with love and gratitude for something else. Because I don't want you to turn over the preciousness of your heart to these robbers. There's a lot that they've robbed that we don't have control over. But that which we do have control over is actually the most precious. And every minute that you think about them, every minute that you allow that anger manufacturing plant to spew its hot dirt into the sanctity of your body temple is a moment that you've opened yourself up to abuse. And so we need to change that. And so the practice of gratitude and compassion is for you, because you deserve it. Okay? Yes, and we'll have yes.
We came here and during 6 months, my wife was Torah, 2 brothers, many kids. I said goodbye to my mom there.
2nd October to place.
And then on my own, we invited a younger sister. She's tied up with her husband, who lives here. Couldn't come. We do our ceremony here, and we knew it. 5 saris, this, that, whatever she needed to do. And you offering us to do a little ceremony.
It means the word to us.
It's just don't know. And if you guys can come, even 2 people from this audience,
Everybody here, everybody is invited to their puja tomorrow morning,
you give us the time to do that.
10 o'clock. Let it be. Let the bolt of light from the sun actually be shining on the banks of Ganga at the same time, which these days takes a little while as it comes over the Himalayas. So let our ghat be filled with that bolt of light. Let's say 10 o'clock on where our Lord Shiva is. The feet of Lord Shiva. Let's give your mother a beautiful opening of your heart. And my only request is that as you send her off, can you send off your anger at those who have mistreated her as well? So that freedom, that moksha that Ganga's going to give her, let Ganga give it to you as well. You don't need to wait till you're no longer in a body. That moksha giving ability of Ganga does not require you to no longer be in a body. So let Ganga give it to you too.
I'll take a start.
Wonderful. Wonderful. But just make the commitment to do it sincerely and let Ganga do the rest. Wonderful.
I can offer a closing sound.
Beautiful.
Meditation after the puja.
Beautiful. There you go. Puja followed by sacred sound. Sacred sound. Wonderful.
I need you.
Wonderful.
I join you
Wonderful.
this song.